Well, they say you are what you eat, and while most of us know what's good for us, resisting temptation is often easier said than done. But now, new research has discovered why some of us find dieting easier than others, and it's all to do with mind over matter.
Is butter a carb? Yes.
Cravings. We all have them.
Better get started on these then.
But why are some people better at saying no than others?
You look so thin.
Do I? Yeah. Oh, it's for Paris. Well, I'm on this new diet. It's very effective. Well, I don't eat anything. And when I feel like I'm about to faint, I eat a cube of cheese.
Well, thanks to science, we may just have the answer. A new study has found the key to diet success could be in our mind's makeup, meaning the part of the brain where we make decisions is linked to greater self-control in dieting.
Let's get into this with brain specialist Dr. Helena Popovic on the Gold Coast. Great to see you again, Helena. This study found the key to diet success could be in the brain's build. So talk us through the findings.
Yes, this was really interesting. Differences in the size and structure of a region of the brain called the prefrontal cortex actually predicts whether a person can resist temptation and talk themselves out of eating something that they're going to regret later.
I've got a massive cortex.
You do.
Oh, huge prefrontal.
Yes,
I was just looking at the
I'm
size
sure.
of it.
The ladies have always said.
And basically, the larger specific areas of this prefrontal cortex, the more you're able to delay gratification and say to yourself, yes, I'd enjoy this chocolate caramel mud cake now, but it's not worth the risk of a heart attack or weight gain later. And the smaller this part of the brain, the more you're going to say, oh, forget the consequences. It tastes too delicious. And the other important thing is the connections between the prefrontal cortex and the pleasure centre of your brain called the nucleus accumbens. The more connections between the two, the better the communication, the greater your dietary self-control.
So if you're a person, unlike David, more like me, small prefrontal cortex...
Well, I can't wear hats because of it.
And you want to rewire your brain so you make healthier choices, how do you do that?
Yes, this is a good news story. We can rewire our brain. We've discovered the brain behaves like a muscle, and we can build up different areas by actually training them. And with respect to the prefrontal cortex, the most powerful, there are three key things that we've discovered so far. Most powerfully, one is meditation. So 10 to 20 minutes a day, just close your eyes, focus on your breath. If you've never meditated, buy a book, do a course, it is well worth learning. Also, yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, martial arts, they're all really helpful. Secondly, learning to eat mindfully. When you're eating, don't be multitasking. If you're watching this program right now and you're eating, put the food aside and don't eat until the program has finished, because the brain can only focus on one thing at a time. And when we multitask, we're forcing our brain to rapidly flick attention from one thing to the next. This is actually a stress on the brain and it erodes brain function. And the third really important thing is to speak to ourselves with compassion and encouragement. We're really great at beating up on ourselves and saying, oh, I'm hopeless, I always make bad choices. We're not so good at encouraging ourselves and actually acknowledging when, yes, I've had a really busy day, but good on me, I managed to get out for a bike ride anyway. It sounds awkward, but it's really important that we speak to ourselves that way. And the prefrontal cortex works much better after a good night's sleep and a bout of exercise. When we exercise physically, we produce a chemical in the brain called BDNF. It stands for brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and that chemical actually stimulates the growth of new brain cells and connections between brain cells, which is exactly what we want.